Hey guys, so now is time to ask fashion questions. This is always my favorite part. I always do this. So I basically go through and just ask all these questions, and then towards the end I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, let's talk about fashion. So here are some of the fashion questions that I asked Jennie. And there's like one of my favorite parts of her. When she gets really excited, I had to add this. So thank you for watching, guys. Have a great week. Knowledge you've learned that you would like to pass.
Oh my God.
You can think about it too.
Wow.
Because I know you're.
What's the most valuable knowledge I've learned? I can only speak for right now. Right? Oh my gosh.
I know.
Whoa. Oh my gosh, that's so huge. You ask the most incredibly wonderful questions. Where do you get these questions? I mean, they're just from you. I know. Oh my God, you ask such great questions.
Just pure curiosity.
You have an incredible career ahead. You know, like no matter what you do, you're going to be great. You're such a thinker. Oh my gosh. Amalia Messa Baines, you should look her up too. She'd be somebody else. Really, you know, I mean,
towards the end, I asked fashion questions.
Oh my gosh. It's so interesting because we haven't talked about fashion at all.
But
how come we haven't talked? I mean, like, okay, so you can absolutely ask fashion questions.
Yeah, well, I usually leave it till the end because I like to get deep.
It's to kind of know who they are.
Yeah, all that stuff.
You are so interesting. See what I mean? You are so.
It's just cool. Like, so
there's something much bigger that you're gonna do. I don't know what it is. I just think it's gonna be so interesting to know you like 10 years.
What's so funny is the high school counselor, she was like, none of us know what's gonna happen with you. Like, it's so like we know you're gonna be successful and like all this stuff, but like we don't know what the heck. Like we know you're going to fashion or whatever, but like there's something that's gonna happen, and like we're so interested in seeing what's gonna happen. And I'm like, oh, okay. So describe to me the perfect outfit.
Oh my God.
For you, to you, like what you feel the most comfortable in. Anything, not like society standards, but what type of color, like all that stuff.
You know, it's interesting because my first response is, I never even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
When I say that, I realize that's not exactly true, right? Because if I didn't care, I would actually wear anything, anytime, right? Doesn't that seem? So I have to examine that question a little more, right? Yeah. And say, for example, what I'm wearing now is what I'm comfortable in. I always want to be warm enough. So I'm always like layered, right? And sort of cuddly. Yeah. I've always leaned toward darker clothing, right? And I think that's conditioning, right? I started in art school when I was I was around people just who always wore jeans and turtleneck sweaters. And so that was like black and blue. That's all I ever wore. That's really all I remember my mother saying, will you ever wear anything but jeans? And actually, I never did. I mean, I always wore jeans. Always. I mean, I've always worn jeans. And since then, I found these, which are now so much my favorite. I have found them, I go to resale shop or consignment shops because I can always find something, right? And I can't afford to shop expensively. I would love to. Like, and when I say that, I mean things that last forever. Like a good cashmere sweater. It's going to cost quite a bit of money, but I will have it. Like for the next 20 years, you know, stuff like that. So I like things that last a really long time. I do lean toward dark things. And this pair of pants, which I found a number of years ago, both in resale shops, and then I found an actual shop that sells them. I have so many pairs of these. I can't.
Really? Very cool.
So I wear tight stuff underneath.
I think it's cool.
Right? So, and then these over it. So I can wear them in the summer without the tight stuff, in the winter with the tight stuff. I always want a good pair of shoes. Right? Fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
And so we're talking seasonally.
Yeah.
Always a scarf. I will say that I always have a scarf on. And there's something about protecting my throat. And I don't mean like I'm protecting my throat, but it's something that I've just learned through the years about valuing what are sacred parts of our body. And because I use my voice so much because I teach, right? Mindful speech is really important. And because mindful speech is important, I need to treat this part of my body yeah, or, you know, take care of it. Just take care of it. So I always have a scarf on, and I've got this one, and I've had so many students through the years who I just adore. And one of my students in their evaluation asked, at what degree do you take off your scarf? Because I even have summer scarves, right?
Yeah.
So I have really light scarves, I have really heavy scarves, but I almost always have a scarf on. So that is one thing that is a big deal.
Yeah.
That probably is the biggest thing.
That's
is a scarf. That I will admit is huge. And so when I say I don't think about it, it's not true. But I do wear the same thing. I mean, you know, it's like a uniform. I wear the same thing every day. Muted tones, sweater, scarf. Boom, that's it.
I really like your style.
Thank you.
Since, was it the last time that we met too? Like, I don't think you see it.
Yeah, I
but you look really fashionable.
Oh, really?
You have style. Like a lot of people think that fashion, like the really expensive, like stuff, like that fashion. No, it's not.
I'm never ever.
No, like I like style, which is like putting things together, making it look nice or whatever. And I think you do a really good job at putting things together. Like I see since last time, I was like, you just see it. Like you look put together. But just like with your clothes or whatever, like there's something about the way you wear it that makes you look so like you know.
Well, thank you. Because it's the SOS. It's the same old shit every day. Thank you.
I like it.
It's very sweet of you. Oh, this jacket, this thing I wear all the time. But yeah, and so in the summer, you know, the summer is, which I really do love. Yeah. So, and because so the summer is, I love, which I hardly can find anymore, is the camisoles that have the built-in bra thingy, right? They're like wearing nothing. They're super tightly fit, and they just have spaghetti straps.
Oh yeah, you know,
like a heavy-duty summer camisole.
Yes.
I love those, and these pants. It's always these pants.
That's cool.
I live in these pants.
I like those. Are they comfortable?
Oh my! It's like we're nothing. So ultimately, I don't want to be bothered.
Yes.
I'm always that way. I don't want to be bothered by. So this is interesting. See, these are why you ask such great questions. This is more of a learning experience for me than it is for you. So I'm very grateful to you for like I don't ever think about this stuff, and then I say things offhandedly, right? And that I don't really something like that where I'd say, well, I really don't care, but obviously I do care. But it's about when I'm thinking, I don't want to be interrupted. I really don't want to talk much. My clothing has to be super practical. I don't want to be cold. I don't want to be hot. I want to be comfortable. I'm super practical, I guess, is what it is.
You can actually see it in your work. I think that's why I like it. Because it's practical. And I mean, this is why I don't know, I've always seen that. And I've experienced it myself that my mood always determines what I'm going to wear. Like, it's more like if I'm sad and depressed, I don't want to wear anything special. Like, I don't have the energy, I don't care about putting accessories and all that stuff together. But when I'm feeling good and confident and conquer the world, I put on the craziest outfits on together. And I love it. So it's a really weird thing that I've always observed about myself and other people. Or vice versa, if I'm sad and I want to feel better, the one thing that I like to do is dress up really nice. And not like super elegant, like high heels or anything like that, but where I feel like super just awesome. And then just walking like through, Old Town or whatever, and people looking at you, people complimenting you, it's one of those like really, really good feelings. But I don't know. Anyway, it's just...
Well, you know what I'm curious about?
Yeah.
Is how, because you see a very specific relationship between what we wear and our personalities.
Yes.
And certainly I've heard that. But it's so interesting to me that you've asked questions that are really penetrating. Right? About really getting to the fiber of who bad choice of words or funny choice of words. The fiber of who the person is related to the fiber that they cover their bodies with. It's super interesting to me because you spend so much less time on fashion, ultimately, in terms of your question, than you do about the individual. But ultimately, it's about how we cover ourselves.
Yes. Because your Zen, like, practice and art, it has everything to do with how you dress.
You're right.
The practical side of Zen, and then the art world of a little bit what color you wear. That's the art. Like, I just see it. And so it's just, I've always been interested in it, and it's the weirdest thing. I just don't know why. And that's how they all go.
It's so interesting.
It's weird. And even Mr. King, when I interviewed him, same thing happened to him. He's like, no, I don't really care. And then he went deep into it. Well, I like Levi pants because of this, and I like this because of that. And everyone's like, oh, I don't care what I wear. And then, but they do. Because it's a ritual that it's every day. You're always going to wear it.
It is. And it's for me, it's because we had talked about this, it's all about form.
Yeah.
Right. So technically, it's about a form.
Oh, it's all about form.
And my teacher, Sensei Genzan, says that our posture is the furniture of our mind.
Really? That's so horrible. No.
Your posture is the furniture of your mind.
So is my mind like bent?
Sensei Genzan would never say that to you directly. He would just say And so your posture is the furniture of your
mind. Yeah, because
So that's something to think about.
That is.
Because then it's more than just how you're dressing yourself. It's what's in here.
Yeah. Well, but it comes from what's in there.
It's always,
yeah.
But that's one thing, right? And I do wear skin. And my purse is,
Wait, I think. What fabric are you most comfortable in? What's that fabric?
Oh, this is cotton. Cotton and linen. I love. Yeah, totally.
And leather? Because of the shoes, like leather shoes always.
Leather and cashmere. Cashmere. Heavy, but things that are heavy. Linen always in the summer. Always linen. And so natural fibers. Natural fibers, nothing synthetic. Not for any, nothing synthetic. I tend to go natural fibers. Okay. Good question. You are good.
And then, do you have a favorite brand?
Oh. No, I never. I'm trying to think because, I really have to think about this. No. I am watching as a company, Everlane, which does cashmere and all natural cashmere, cotton, and wool is what they're known for. But they're also known for their manufacturing practices. So they're less expensive, and they are supposed to have humane places where people are making their clothes. So I'm watching them. I haven't purchased anything from them, but I'm watching them. Everlane.
Okay.
Everlane. Yeah. And so that's a brand that I watch, but outside of that, I don't ever go by brands, ever, yeah.
And what's your favorite color to wear? Black and gray?
How about if I just say dark colors?
Dark colors.
Okay. Yeah, I really am not. I like a touch. But now that my hair is getting gray, I definitely go toward grays and blues, right? But dusty.
Yeah.
Is that dusty colors? Can I say dusty colors?
Yeah.
Never yellow. I won't wear yellow. I won't wear red. I mean, a red scarf, accents, but dark colors.
Dark colors.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is so hard.
Is it really?
It's so hard.
There's more. So maybe I'll just ask you. If you were to wake up in the morning and you had either all the money in the world or you just had all the clothes in the world, what would you wear? Like it was an endless tribe of clothes.
Oh, I would hate that. First of all,
it had to be anything you would want, though.
It would be basically the same. I would be wearing something like this, and it would all be a finer grade of the material. And when I say finer, I mean it would last longer, and it would be a little thicker, right? So cotton these would be heavier linen. Everything would be cropped. I love cropped pants. I love cropped shirts. Everything's cropped, right? I like everything, like very angular. Angular, cropped, dark. So if I could afford it, what's her name, who I just adore? Does a lot of that stuff. Everything's cropped. Ellen? No. Not Donna Karen. There's somebody else who's super, super popular. But anyway, everything's cropped. I would own more Everlane sweaters. I would own Everlane sweaters, which I don't own. I would wear the same, if I would, absolutely, and I have. This sweater has holes in it, it's so bad.
I've had clothes like that too.
But I wear this, I have something underneath, so I have a different shirt on underneath, and I wear this every day. Yeah, same sweater, same pair of pants, finer material. That would be my only choice. So if I had money, I would invest in exactly the same thing, but a better grade.
Okay.
So it would last longer.
Okay. And what advice do you have? And this is the last question.
That's okay. These questions are so good.
Really? What advice would you give? I guess I already kind of said like to women, but just to anyone who's like wanting to make it out in the world, who like really wants to be successful and do huge things.
Oh my gosh. But not necessarily in art, just in the world in general.
Just in the world in general.
Go to school to learn, not to get a job. So go to school to learn things, not because the job is the be all and end all. That's the first thing. This is so terrible because it costs so much money. Get an undergraduate degree and a bachelor's degree, or an undergraduate degree and a master's. You have to have a master's because a lot of people now have PhDs. So get a master's degree. Be super honest with yourself. Painfully honest with yourself. And that's it. And stay healthy. Because the whole thing, the other thing that we haven't even talked about, right, which is above all of this, is you have to be healthy. Because if you don't have your health, you can't do anything. And so this goes back to my grandparents too. I'm totally 100,000,000% grateful for my gene pool. And my German side, which I don't know that well, I know that they were not unhealthy. The Italian side was viciously healthy. And so I'm counting on that because I really know that side. But you have to have your health. You have to exercise. You can't spend all your time in front of a computer, especially because this is a different time. I did not come from a computer generation where now we are so easily sedentary. Have a stand-up. There's some practical things. Have a stand-up desk. Do not sit down all day. That's really bad. Not that standing all day is good, but middle path. Sit down, stand up. But your health, you have to have your health first. Because everything that we've talked about means nothing if you're not functioning well physically.
Yes.
So that's huge. That's probably more important than anything. Because if you don't have your health, you can't be honest. You can't wear the clothes you want. You can't go to school. You can't do any of that.
Yes. So funny because today, like, that same thought came to my mind. It's like, if you don't have health, you don't have
anything. You really have to take care of yourself. And I'm very, that's probably part of my training, but I'm very in my body a lot of the time. And so you become very aware when it's not working and how if it's not working, you don't do things. If you're a little too tired, or if you've pulled a muscle, I can't draw, or whatever that is, right? Or if you overuse something and it's squeaking, sometimes my shoulder squeaks, and I hear it in my ear. But I'm older, right? But all that stuff, you need to take care of yourself.
All right. Wait.